Hi, good afternoon, friends. Uh, Welcome to today's Expert Talks. As you all know, today's session is on study in Australia and online learning and its key advantages. My name is Imtiaz Banuru. I represent Uni Experts. I'm very happy and delighted to let you know that we have one of the most experienced international education representatives with us, Mr. Sumit Agarwal, who has spent more than 2.5 decades in international education and recruitment and recruiting students to Australia, who is the current regional director, South Asia for Central Queensland University. As you all know, Central Queensland University is one of the most popular among Indian students and has got campuses across Australia and got really good student base in terms of student programs, internships, etc. So what we would do right now, before we get into the questions, we'll hear it from Sumit. What is Australia the situation right now at the moment as far as the COVID situations are concerned? How the students are considering Australia right now as their study choice, and then we will go to your questions one by one. So, welcome, Sumit. Thank you so much for taking time. And I know you're joining all the way from Melbourne, which is almost what 9 o'clock right now, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We appreciate that you're coming all the way from, and you're joining us all the way from Melbourne, and then taking time to talk to our students. Um, so over to you, Sumit.
Well, thanks a lot, Imtiaz, and thank you for inviting me as well. Yes, I'm currently speaking from Melbourne, Australia, but I'm generally based in Delhi, as you know, Imtiaz, and but my family lives in Australia. So when the current pandemic started, at that time I had traveled to Australia, and just waiting for the normal flights to start so that I can be back in Delhi uh, to do the things that we normally do. But let's uh, welcome everybody to this talk. So what I'll do is let me start with a quick overview of where is Australia in the current situation of pandemic. So Australia is in a very different situation, being a large continent and with a population of a bit over 24 million. Uh, uh, just to start with a basic fact, in all of Australia, the current active cases are just around 70, only about 70 cases. But because Australia is very, very particular about the health and well being of everybody in Australia, they have been very tight with their borders. Uh, they are currently doing vaccination in the country. In fact, for a population of 24 million, they've already ordered over 120 million doses of vaccine, and they're currently in the process of ordering more. So they've already ordered from 3 suppliers, out of which 2 have already started supplying, and they have the home production of the same vaccine that's being produced in India as well, which is the Oxford vaccine. So, and they are just looking to order their fourth vaccine from Johnson and Johnson as well. So, as you can see, for a population of 24 million, they've already ordered 120 plus. And why is that? That's because Australia, being a welfare country, their government will not only be supplying vaccines free to all Australian citizens, but also to everybody else in Australia, which includes on the category, including international students. They have been very particular that they will allow students to enter Australia only when they are fully confident that everybody is protected, including the students and the
Mhm.
Australian citizens as well. So they are currently looking at, especially Indian subcontinent, on how the vaccination process is going on. The Education Minister of Australia made a statement in the newspaper last month that with vaccination picking up, they are hopeful that people, international students especially, who will get vaccinated, will also be able to easily enter Australia over the next few months once the Australian population is also largely vaccinated. Under the current situation, a large part of the Australian population, especially the ones at risk, which are the elderly and the sick, will all be vaccinated over the next couple of months. And then they will go to the younger population. Okay. So that's Australia is with vaccination. Now, when we talk about international students, we need to understand that Australia is very different as compared to any other country where students want to go. One,
Mm.
Australia is a country which actually has a law to protect international students. It's not one of those countries which has just opened its borders, even if they couldn't control the corona, that okay, let students come in. They are they're responsible for their own well-being. No, Australia is a country where they have strict rules to look after even international students. Even
Mm.
for the corona period, this is the only country where if a student studying in a private college and the college closes, the government
Yeah.
comes in and takes responsibility for students. If students
Yes.
have
Yes.
earned their money, the government returns it from their own pocket. And the government, whoever is studying, is transferred to a similar provider at the same or lesser fees. So that's the Australian law. They have a federal law called ESOS Act, ESOS, ESOS, Education
Yes.
Services for Overseas Students Act. So this makes this country very unique. And Australia
Mm.
again, when coronavirus hit in last year, from the end of May, from the end of March in India, the lockdown was declared. At a very similar time, Australia had its lockdown as well. In
Mm.
July last year, the education minister, the then education minister, who's now the trade and investment minister, he gave in writing a media release for international students which said, we understand students are affected. We understand a lot of students have got their visa and have not been able to start studies. One, the government said students can commence their studies online even if it's for lesser load. And as long as they apply for visa and get the visa, everything they study anywhere in the world will be counted as if they're studying in Australia. So the opportunity to get a post-study work visa is available to every student who has got their visa and who has studied either in Australia or even overseas on online mode. They're all covered. Now, if somebody's visa
Okay.
expires and they've not finished their course because of Corona, again, they will get an extension visa free of charge. As long as they've done what the Australian government has said. What they've said is apply for your visa, get your visa.
Mhm.
If you are able to travel to Australia right now, great. If not, start your studies even at a lesser load online. And when you arrive in
Yes.
Australia, which at this stage looks most likely for the next intake in July, because of all the situation with COVID in Australia over the last, I would say, 3 weeks. Even the only coronavirus cases they've had are their own Australian citizens and residents returning to Australia from overseas.
Mm.
Within, yeah, it was actually very funny. Going back about a month, there was a period of close to 2 months. There was zero cases in Australia, all of Australia, no new cases. And then they allowed their own citizens and residents who were overseas to return. And then they had a few cases from returning passengers. And so the current
Mm.
count purely from returning passengers, Australia had was almost at zero stage. When I say almost, there was no zero cases for more than 2 months in all of Australia. So they have in a different situation now. So the
Yes.
Australian government, as I said, had announced very clearly that students will be granted a visa. They can apply now. Since July last year, they started processing. In fact, visas have been coming since
Mm.
then, and students can make use of that to start even with one unit. That's fine, no problem. And it's only the continuing students who will be given priority to come into Australia first, and they
Mhm.
will be the ones who will have no problem in extending their visa if their visa expires and their course has not been finished. So that's a huge advantage again about Australia. Now, during Corona, the universities have also tried to look after their students in every way. Obviously, I work for CQ University. It's this will be my 25th year working for them, and we've seen is that the university has done much more than they've ever done because of the COVID situation. Whether it's making it easier for people to get admission, whether to look at how their English tests are looked at, how they offer the ELICOS program if they need to do English, the scholarships, the discounts, everything has been done much more to look after students. I'll give you a very simple example. As a university, we used to offer merit students who have at least 65% above in their previous
Mhm.
qualification a scholarship which was worth 20% of the tuition fees. It's called International Student Scholarship. This scholarship was for the full degree. Okay. Now, after COVID started, they increased the scholarship to 25%. Then for
Okay.
students eligible for this scholarship, okay, who did not have 65%, but the university thought they were good enough to be given an offer letter. They have offered them a rebate, which is like a discount to help
Mm.
them with the situation. And that discount is worth $15,000. This is money paid to the
Okay.
student at the end of their degree. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
There is no student who gets an offer letter from the university who doesn't have a
Yeah.
financial advantage, a discount, or scholarship based on their academic score. They are incentivizing students to pay their fees early so that they can get their visa on time, and that
Mhm.
incentive is worth another $1,000. Okay. Apart
Okay.
from scholarships, there was a big issue, and it's still an issue in some countries in South Asia, about students giving their English tests.
Mm.
There was not an easy access, and they're having a lot of difficulty. So the first thing which the university did was, if a lot of students gave their English test in 2019 or beginning of 2020 before COVID hit in, and now we're all in March 21. And
Yeah.
as you know, English tests only are valid for 2 years. So what the
Yes.
university has done is, when you apply to study with us, okay, I'll give you an example.
Mm.
Today
Mm.
is 3rd of March 21. Let's say somebody gave their test, English test, last year, May, and last to last year, in May 19. So their test will expire in May 21. So if that student today applies to us for our July intake,
Yeah.
and their test, which they gave
Mhm.
in May 19, their score meets our requirements, and our requirements are
Okay.
largely of overall 6, individuals not less than 5.5, unless
Yeah.
you apply for our engineering and medical nursing kind of programs where requirements is higher. Our
Yeah.
engineering program, our MBA global program requires an overall 6 individual, not overall 6.5 individuals, not less than 6. Our all other degrees, which is in, let's say, accounting, business, human resource, or
IT.
marketing management, IT, IS, master public health, all of them require IELTS of overall 6, individual 5.5. So
Yes.
let's back to this example. Student gave their English test in May 19. Their English
Mhm.
score at least overall 6, individual not less than 5.5. They've applied for MIT, so their score meets the requirement. But their intake is in July 9/21.
Mm. Mm.
That
Mm.
time the test would have expired. So to help students, what we've done is, when the student applies to us for admission, let's say with this example, student applies now, so the test is still valid. If they meet the requirements and we give them an offer letter, then they need to accept the offer letter and pay fees minimum for one subject, and they can enroll online in July for that, for example. Then their English test will be accepted. So as
Okay.
long as they accept the offer letter and pay the minimum deposit, okay. So we always recommend students to pay for one term so that they can apply for the visa. In case students' funding is getting delayed, then we say to them, you start your term online by
Mhm.
paying one subject and enroll for one subject. In the meanwhile, get your funding together so that you can pay for the remaining 3 to make up one full term of fees. And that's how you can apply for your visa. And
Great.
so that was one, the first thing we did for English tests. The second thing, which to me was a big surprise, and in 25 years of my working in the university, I've never seen this, which is people whose English tests were not meeting the requirements.
Mm.
Now, tests are, a lot of testing sites have opened, but not all of them. So the
Mm.
university major step, which, as I said, I've never seen before, which is, if your English test does not meet the requirement and it's below our requirement by maximum of one full band, meaning instead of having IELTS of overall 6, you have 5, or instead of
Mm.
having individuals not less than 5.5, you have up to 4.5. So not more than one full point of difference. So from
Mm.
6 overall, you can go up to below up to 5, not more than that. If your
Yeah.
English scores are low than the required scores by not more than one full point in IELTS equivalency, then the university is offering the student to do the English program. If they're below by half a band, half a point, then it's 10
Yeah.
weeks. If they
Okay.
are below by one full point, then 20 weeks.
20
That,
weeks. Yeah.
yeah. So 10 or 20 weeks of English program, depending on the score, is being offered to the student completely free. It has never been done before. And this is being done currently to help students under the COVID environment. And let me tell you, in the last 1 month since the university launched it, we've had people applying to us to say, I've never heard this before. This facility. I said, use it because one, it's
Mm.
limited. And two,
Yeah.
once the COVID situation improves, which we are hoping by July it will, then the university might withdraw it because it's to help the current situation with students. So make use of it while it's there. So
Yeah.
these are some of the things which the university has done to help students financially in the COVID environment to apply to study at the university. Okay. Even when students
Yes.
are coming to us and say, look, I don't want to study online. And the answer is
Mm.
nobody expects you to study online. We know students have to go to Australia to experience the life, the culture, with
Yeah.
students, fellows. That's all good. And that's what's required. What we need is in the current environment for you to take benefit of all the scholarships, to make use of the Australian government system where they are giving you the visa. Start your studies by just one subject, just one,
Mm.
or because what that will do is one, it will guarantee you those benefits. You will be in the priority list for the charter flights that we are hoping to start in the next 2 to 3 months. And
Excellent.
the report from the education minister. Sorry, do you want me to say
Mm.
anything there? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a, I mean, you covered up the most key points, Sumit, that, if I have to summarize, the great thing is what CQ is doing, what Australia is doing at the moment. So there are a lot of benefits the students are getting it in terms of scholarships, in terms of rebate, and in terms of fee discount. And most important thing is the load of subjects is something that it can be manageable if the students are able to start their online studies at the earliest, and they will be on the priority list tomorrow because they have the visa and everything in their hand. So there is I mean, what we have done, Sumit, all the questions that whatever that we have received, I mean, since we announced this session is on study in Australia, we are actually, our inboxes are flooded with questions. So we have compiled all those questions and we categorized it, and so that we'll take your expertise and your help and your feedback, so that we can inform the same thing to our students and their students live as well. The one thing that what we wanted to know is why the students are still so keen to opt Australia as a study destination. Apart from you spoke about the ESOS Act and the other thing, why Australia has become so popular? If you have to tell us in what would be the reasons behind it?
See, Australia has been very consistent in their approach. They are not,
Mm,
their rules are predictable. Today, a
mm,
student wants to study in Australia. Okay, I'll mix that with our university detail because it will mix it with that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
finish my earlier point about online study. The university did another major step, which it is a lot of students said, "Look, I'm having problem with my internet, or I'm not able to get good internet in my place." The university has gone to the extent where they, at their own expense, the university expense, is offering the
Mm,
student the internet they can get in their region. So the university is paying for the cost of that. And
okay.
cases where students who are from a small region or from a region which is almost like a village area or in a high risk area, like we've had students from Jammu Kashmir who said, look, in my area we will never get strong internet because the government keeps restricting it because of security concerns.
Hmm.
University has gone to
Okay.
the extent to said, okay, which is the nearest big city which you can shift in to study, and we'll pay for your accommodation, food, and also obviously internet as well. So that has been
Excellent.
for
Yeah.
the under the current situation. Okay, so that's a bit to do with the COVID benefits. But now coming back to your question, Australia has a very simple, clear system today. As a university, I said we are one of the largest universities spread all over Australia. We have about 20 campuses. We are, except a couple of states, which is Northern Tasmania and ACT, we are present in all of Australia. We have
Mm.
campuses in cities, in whether it's in New South Wales state, in Sydney capital, or in Melbourne or Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth, and we have a number of regional campuses. Now, so Australian government system, a student who comes to study with us, let's say a master's degree for 2 years or a bachelor's degree for 3 or 4, depending on whether it's an engineering degree or not. If they come to study with us, that degree, let's say in Melbourne, Melbourne being a capital city, at the end of the degree, they'll get 2 years post-study work visa. And obviously, they're allowed to work part-time while they are studying. In holidays, they can work. Now, this is very different to UK and US. Okay. Now, that's one. Instead of coming to Melbourne campus, let's say they go to our Cairns campus or a Hampton campus. After a degree, they'll get 4 years work visa because it comes into a regional location.
Yes.
And there's restriction on what work they can do during that period. And if they go, for example, our Perth campus, then Perth, being in Western Australia, has even a migration scheme which is linked to students studying in Perth.
Yes.
So studies in Perth, yes, after that we'll get the 2 years work visa. But during that time, when they get a job based on that placement, they can be even eligible to apply for a permanent visa. In other, so different states have their own provisions.
Yes.
And at CQU, where you can study at any of those campuses where we offer the program, you can make use of that. And a lot of students find it hard to get jobs at time because they say we don't know anybody in the corporate world. So as a university, also done is because we realize people want to get the practical work experience. Otherwise, they won't job during their 2 years post-study work visa. All our degrees at master's level and majority in IT and engineering and health science at bachelor's level, all masters and in bachelor's IT, engineering and health science include one term of industry placement as part of the degree, where the student does not have to pay anything for the internship. So this has been going on now for more than 5 years. And in our experience, more than half of the students who go for internship get offered a full-time job either from the same employer at the internship position or through reference of the employer. And what that has led to is today our salaries at most degrees come into either top 1 or within the top 2 or 3 starting salaries in Australia. So that is a very unique option, which when mixed with the Australian government option of post-study work visa and our placement options, internship options within the degree are students. Okay. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah. Thanks, Sumit. I think this is something quite unique when we compare to any other, developed nation or English-speaking country which is offering study overseas. Moving on, because you touched base on the post-study work rights, there's a question on the post-study work right. The students who are doing online study, if they do a part of study online, and then as soon as the borders open, if they travel to Australia, will there be any effect to their post-study work rights because they have completed this part of study from their home country?
That's a very good question, Imtiaz, and funny enough, it helps them. I'll give you a few examples because we're doing this every day. I'll give you this first example. This student that I'm talking about a master's degree has 16 subjects. Okay. So the student already done 4 subjects online with us and still has not even applied for the student visa. I said, okay. So now has asked us how many subjects should I do next term. So we said to them, 1, you need to apply for student visa now. You have 12 subjects left. Your full load, you'll still get a COE for 2 years. You'll apply a visa for 2 years. Now, the advantage the student will get. Now, this student, and I'm giving you real examples right now. Okay. So this student, let's say the student studies in our upcoming March intake for 1 subject and applies for the visa. Currently, visa processing is taking somewhere between 1 week to 2-3 weeks. So let's assume that he will get his visa by April, May, maximum June. Okay. In July, at this stage, our expectations for students who are continuing to study with us to go to Australia is almost 99%. Okay. Now, but we look at various scenarios for the student. Scenario 1, studies in March intake for 1 subject. He's already done 4 before. Okay.
Yeah.
So he does 1 subject. He applies for the visa. He gets his visa in time, and he goes to Australia in July. Now, so he goes to Australia in July. He's already done 5 subjects.
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning he has to do only 11 subjects.
Yeah.
We are going to break that up for the next 4 terms for him if he wants to take the full 4 terms, or 3, depending on what he wants to do. Let's say we break it up
Okay.
into terms. So he'll do 3, 3, 3, and 2.
Yeah.
So what effect will that have on the student? Instead of doing the normal full-time load of 4 subjects per term, he'll do 3,
Mm.
3, 2. So
Yes.
he have that much pressure in a new country to study a full-time load and look for a part-time job. He'll have less pressure. He'll do 3 subjects.
Yes.
He can do them better. He can do his part-time job. He can understand Australian culture. He can explore more. And when it comes to his internship, he'll have no pressure. So
Yes.
he'll still get to do the full 2 years in Australia if required,
Yeah.
and he'll still get all the benefits with lesser load of studies during his studies in Australia.
And he
And
can perform well also because of the less load.
very simple. And today
Yeah.
he's already done 4 subjects and is happy with them. And now he wants to do one more. That's fine. And he'll
Mm.
do he'll do the full remaining study in Australia. He'll still finish
Mm-hmm.
his get a post-study work visa. Now, that was scenario 1. Let's paint scenario 2, where in worst case, which I don't expect, but still, worst case,
Mm.
not able to go to Australia in July. No problem. We'll give him the option. Do you want to study in July or do you want to take a term break? It's up to you. Let's say he says, I want to study.
Okay.
No problem again. Then he'll go to Australia
Mm.
in 3, 3 and only 1.
Mm.
All the options. Now, somebody says to me, what if his visa gets refused? No problem. One, visa refusal rate very rarely is more than 2 to 3%. Let's say
Yes.
worst case, God forbid it happens to him. No problem.
Mm.
What fees is paid to us to study online, the 4 subjects is already
Mm.
done, and one more, we'll refund him 100%. Correct. So,
Excellent. So this,
so
yes.
no loss or disadvantage to student at all. And I don't think any other university can say that, but we are trying to make sure by studying online,
Mm.
student doesn't have any disadvantage, only advantage. In fact,
Yes.
we had some students who were studying in Australian time zone, so they had to get up early in the morning. But
Mm.
feedback from students, we've now changed it, where next term they'll be studying on almost Indian time zones because we run
Mm.
multiple subject. So we've kept
Yes.
some for the South Asian region. Very simple.
Mm.
So because
Okay.
obviously, uh, please keep in mind that Australia education schools, colleges are almost back to normal. So July, coming March intake for us in Australia will be normal intake. Normal campuses will run. Current
Yeah.
domestic candidates come to campus. So they study their normal time between 9 to 5. But 9 a.m. Australian time is like 3:30 a.m. Indian time. So the
Yeah.
online classes will be running more towards late afternoon Australian time, so that
Mm.
Asian students, it will be more in their normal morning timings. So,
Okay.
so your initial question, students studying online are much more better off than students who will go there to commence studies. One, a student
Yeah.
who's waiting to say, I will go to Australia and start my studies there only. Even if
Mm.
the even when the borders open, which they should between May and June or maximum July, new students who've not started will not get priority to go. It will be the ongoing students. That's a clear guideline from the Australian government. And
Mm.
between last year and this term, we already have somewhere close to 500 students studying online in South
Mm.
Asia. And most universities have students studying online. They will be the ones who get the priority. So somebody who's saying, I will not start the studies at all, I just want to wait,
Mm.
you time. Don't do that. Under
Yes.
situation, nothing has stopped. We still eat every day. We still do our normal things every. Nothing has stopped. So don't
Yes.
stop, because when you stop, you create a gap in your life. Don't do that. People
Yes. Yes.
working online. Majority of people in the world are right now working online. So what has stopped them from working online? Students, even class 1, 2 students are studying online.
Yeah. Seriously.
To
Yes.
finish your degree online. It's not the expectation at all in any way at all. We generally don't even recommend more than 1 or 2 subjects for students to study online when they start, because it's the first time. So go step by
Mm.
step.
Mm.
Most
Yeah.
probably March will be the last term to study online for the students who are studying now, because they'll have the opportunity to go to Australia. Okay. So next.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Sumit. It's all advantages only. If I have to summarize, one, the load will get released. Number two, they can start by their own speed, and the time zones are also you saying that it is all better now. Before we get into another question, the one that you picked up, the students who are studying online will be given the priority tomorrow once the borders are open, and who are already holding the visas. Is it for the any particular sector students, or it's all sector students who are
It's a
studying
clear,
online?
this is a clear Australian government guideline that they will
Mm-hmm.
bring students to Australia who are continuing students first, because they are the
Okay.
shown that they are more serious and focused. And
Mm,
so it's very clear that we give them the first opportunity to come to Australia to
mm.
continue and hopefully finish their degree on time.
Okay,
So
because that is the question
very, very
asked by one of our student, Bhargavi. So it's good. Thanks, Sumit. And one of the key and important question, what I felt, because now the lockdown situation was there last year. Now life has become quite normal in Australia. We have seen Australia and India's test series as well. So we have seen the crowd going, coming, and shouting there at the stadium. So which means the life has become quite normal. However, because the student load has become less right now, who are coming to study in Australia, tomorrow the students, whoever is passing out and completing their degrees, how do you think the job market going to affect? Will there be a challenge for them, or will they have an advantage?
you have to remember first thing that Australia is a very okay, it's a very developed country. Let's start with that.
Mm,
Okay. Under the COVID situation, Australian government has distributed billions of dollars to their citizens.
mm,
Effect of on average a citizen who either lost their job or the company was having difficulty to keep them on during COVID, the government paid for.
mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So the government has actually paid on an average $2,000 to $3,000 per person per month since the beginning of COVID in all of Australia to make sure people retain their income.
Okay.
Actually, given money to companies apart from that, apart from this payment to individuals, they've even given money to companies on a regular basis to make sure
Mm,
that loss. And now the government is looking to invest. I'll give you an idea. Just last
mm,
week, I'm currently in Melbourne, state of Victoria. So the state of Victoria has the government has declared that they will be spending a few $1 billion to develop a new train system in all of Victoria. Now
very good.
imagine
Okay.
the kind of jobs it creates in engineering,
Yeah.
nation, in project management,
Constructions. Yeah.
in management, and all in HRM. This is just one of them. The government, in
Yes.
its budget, has declared investment in almost all areas of industries. See, that's the difference in these countries where they, know, the government, the tax department is in Australia. For example, somebody, a company paid. Now, this is I know those people firsthand, so I'm telling you factual information. A
Mm,
company,
mm,
let's say
mm,
$20,000 as tax last year to the Australian government. Okay. Now, when I say last year, I mean
mm.
before COVID. When the COVID happened, and when the government department checked with them, how are you going? They said we have a loss this year. I said, okay, tell us how much. Give us your accounts and tell us how much you are in loss. We'll adjust it backwards from the profit from tax you paid us last year, and then the government
Oh,
returned them the tax they paid last year to them in the first quarter of the second quarter of 2020. Okay, in the third
okay.
quarter the government again approached them, how are you doing? They said no, still it's just borderline. So the amount, let's say they paid $10,000 in 2018 19,
Mm,
that was returned to
mm-hmm.
them by the state government in 2020 second quarter. In third quarter the government gave them same amount again just to help them run through.
Wow.
So Australia, different situation. It is a developed country. It's in a huge
Yes.
surplus. So what that
This is a,
allows
I mean, sorry to cut you. I think this is the greatest. This is something great that any government can do to their citizens, considering the situation.
if,
So
if
that's
I
great.
compare to, for example, US, UK, Canada, these countries unfortunately did not declare lockdowns at the right time, because
Mm, mm,
they were hoping that okay, the COVID would go away or it's not a big deal or whatever. But what has the result been? Look at the amounts of effect of COVID in whether it's in US or UK or even Canada. Look at the number of deaths that has happened. Now they're in lockdown situation in UK very badly, and also in parts of US. Australia did lockdown early because they wanted to avoid the deaths happening. They still had some
mm.
deaths because the COVID situation entered the elderly people who live in old age care. The COVID situation entered there. So the number of deaths happened at the old age care centers. Overall, they
Okay.
because they locked down early, they were able to control it. And during lockdown,
Mm.
they looked after people. They paid people in every possible way. Every possible benefit was given to people. So now the
Yes.
relaxed on situation because numbers are low. So businesses are now jumping back. You go to any restaurant, you have a waiting list already. You go, you
Oh
want to
goodness.
anywhere. Oh,
Yeah.
I can examples will be shocked. In January, we decided as a family to go to one of the main tourist attractions in Victoria. It's an
Hmm.
area famous in the world called Great Ocean Drive, and
Yes.
has one of the big attractions in Australia called 12 Apostles. So we
Yeah.
wanted to go and stay there for a few days, and we were trying to
Mhm.
book. After trying to book four places and everything got picked up very quickly, we ended up paying probably three times more than what we would have normally paid because there was a
Okay.
match for people going on holiday. And that reminds me, you will have a shock on listening to that. Victorian government paid Australians to go
Hmm.
on holiday, and everybody who went
Okay.
to Victoria and stayed in a place for at least one night
Okay.
was given a voucher of $200 each
Wow.
to spend money
That's
for a holiday.
excellent. Yeah.
Government
Yeah.
paid people to have a holiday.
Yeah. So
Very
business is
different.
as usual. So there is nothing changed in terms of jobs,
Isn't
in
it what
terms of
you said?
new
We should
projects.
go and check for the travel vouchers given by the Victorian government, and they've already
Hmm.
given thousands of vouchers.
Wow. Excellent. The next question is, Sumit, what kind of support is given to the international students who already been, I mean, who's already stuck in Australia, and what is the benefits that they got because now they might not be having the big amount of part-time jobs available. So, what is the support these students have got?
Now, that's a good question. You know, when COVID initially lockdown happened, then yes,
Mm.
because of lockdown, all retail, everything was closed except the essentials, which was medical and and the supermarkets for food purchase. Only those things were open. Only essential services. So, as
Mm-hmm.
a we were trying to be, and as much as possible we were in regular touch with all students to make sure they were comfortable, and anybody who
Mm-hmm.
needed, whether it was for rental support or food support, we tried to provide all of that. We made sure medically our students were fully covered, although
Okay.
with this, none of our students ever had any health problem during this period. Forget about corona, but we made sure the health insurance, and that's why and that reminds me, we always recommend and request people take the health insurance through the university, because when
Yes.
you by yourself, yes, you look for the cheapest rate, but when the
Mm.
university, they make sure that the cover is very strong. So when the COVID started, as a university, we made sure, because it was a new thing, that our insurance company that we use currently, Allianz, covered
Mm-hmm.
all students who already had medical cover. They
Okay.
made everything involving corona was also covered. But touch wood, none of us had any issue. In fact, our campuses have not had any issue at all. So it all went smooth. But as a university, we made sure students were covered. So when we
Mm.
opened the campus after the initial lockdown, we were even providing food supplies in the campuses for students to take. And
Mm.
it actually became a joke in the university because initially one or two, because we did it when we were allowed to open, so the initial lockdown had closed. In the
Mm.
first couple of weeks, some students used it, but after that students said, look, we don't need to use it, our part-time jobs already back, because the retail sector, the hospitality sector all
Yes.
picked. So
Yes.
service in a way had to be stopped because nobody was using it anymore.
Okay. So that's a good news, actually.
Yeah, I'm giving you
Yeah.
the actual on the ground situation. In fact, when I
Understand.
the campus in those days, I took every those Maggie cooking and ready to eat meals. I took a lot of them to the campus and I gave to the campus director in Melbourne. They said, "Look, you
Mm.
do it in the front reception, but these days people are coming to take it." And then eventually it was declared that people are not using it anymore.
Okay, that's excellent. Thanks, Sumit. My next question is so there was a straightforward questions from most of our counselings from the offline question that would you recommend applying for a visa right now and take over the online learning for next one intake? So the students are keep asking us on the recommendation.
Okay. Look, let's look at two situations. Situation one, where a student applies for the visa now and starts online, and situation two, where a
Mhm.
student doesn't apply for the visa right now. Okay. So let's look at
Mm,
situation one I covered earlier, but I'll cover it briefly.
mm.
Right? High commissions are not that busy. Okay. So student visas applications are getting processed in a matter of days, weeks, very rarely above a month. Okay. So
I will tell you, we have seen the visas coming in 3 days, 2 days, and as soon as the medicals is over, the immediate day. So
correct.
that shows, yeah,
So you get your visa now.
yeah.
You enroll for one subject as a minimum. One, the university is offering extra benefits, whether it's from scholarship or rebate,
Mm,
early bird discount, you're getting those benefits. Free early course if required. You know, I was a student in 96. How
mm,
many students love repeating an English test when they don't meet the requirements the first time? We know they all hate it. We hate it as well in
yeah,
our time.
yeah,
So if a student does not meet the requirement of English, we're offering free early course. And this is only in the
yeah.
current period. So make use of it, get your visa,
Mm,
start your studies even if it's a one subject. Now what does that do? That puts you in the priority list to go to Australia. That puts you in an advantage position. When you go to Australia, you'll do less subjects per term. You'll have, it'll be a relaxed today. New country, full-time load 4 subjects, or new country only 3 subjects load, or 2 subjects, depending on how many you've done online already. It's an advantage. You can settle down faster, you look for part-time jobs, create a social circle for yourself, create friends. You can do all those things that will become your support network in Australia.
yes.
Because I've been working for the university for 25 years. Before that, I was a student myself. The hardest 6 months for a
Mm,
student in Australia are the first 6 months. In other words, the first term. If in
mm,
that first term you don't have to do full-time load, but you can get, and you can do one subject or 2 subjects less, it will always help you to settle down faster, feel much more comfortable. And that's the advantage you can
yes.
get now. Now, somebody gets a visa now, does one subject now. After
Mm,
that, in July, their visa finishes, let's say, after July intake 22, but there's
mm.
still for their degree one more term studies left. No problem. You'll get an extension of visa free of cost by the Australian government. They're only given in writing.
Yes. Yeah.
So you'll do that. So you'll finish your degree, let's say, in July 23, and then you'll get the post study work visa also. You have nothing to lose. That's scenario one.
Yeah.
Scenario two, you don't want to apply for your visa. Okay, it's your choice. You'll wait.
Mm,
Apply,
mm.
let's say, when the borders open. Okay. By that time, there'll be a mad rush. Visa processing will be back to 2, 3 months processing. When they'll have
Mm.
a match, they'll become stricter as well. Okay. At that time, again, when the borders open, first the continuing students will be going.
Yes.
Even at our university, as I said, we by the end of this intake in March, we'll have more than 500 students in our continuing student category.
Yes.
So you'll have to wait even then. And when you have to
Yeah.
wait, you'll be told enroll online now so that you're in the priority list in the next flight once you've enrolled online. And what will you say that I'll wait till everybody who studied online in India has
Mhm.
gone? Only then I'll get priority. Don't put yourself at the end of the queue. We in
Yes.
India know very well, being end of the queue, you stay in the end.
Yeah.
Self in the priority list. Don't waste your own time. Don't waste your own
Yes.
time. the bottom
Yes,
line.
sir. Thank you so much. That is very well explained. And I think that has answered the other questions of our students who put their comments here. There is another question which my team is also keen to know. And there is one student who has already put in a question here as well. What is the study gap that is acceptable? And is there any changes in the entry criteria for SICU University?
See, that's a very good question. Entry gap or study gap.
Yeah.
Once Corona effect started in the world from March 2020, anything after March 2020 is basically nobody was able to study or limited study in home country because of online. So that gap doesn't matter. What matters is what you were doing before. So we've
Mm,
got finished their degree in 19 who
mm,
had given an English test or were preparing an English test at that time to
mm,
apply to the overseas, and they did
mm,
some test between after they finished their exams in March, April 19, and they gave a test sometime from April 19 till beginning of 20. They're all covered
mm,
because shows they're working towards that. But then COVID
mm.
started, and then in the immediate lockdown, they couldn't do anything. So
Yeah.
people with gaps have currently got an advantage that from at least March 20 till date, gap is not really considered. It's to do with period before that. So that's a big
Okay.
advantage.
Excellent. So, can you briefly, let our students and team know about the GTE criteria and how should any student should prepare for become a successful GTE?
See, what we do as a university is to make sure that students meet all the requirements of the university and also of the visa department of the government of Australia. Okay,
Mm,
so we follow some simple steps. When we receive an application, we have a look at it. If everything looks okay, meaning we're not missing any critical information, student has filled in the form correctly, provide the academic documents, then we talk to the student.
mm,
Generally, done between 1 to 2 days, maximum 5 working days of receiving the application. In fact, today I was looking at applications that were received yesterday and day before. So
mm,
we call the student and we try to understand from the student in terms of what are their future plans, any
mm.
family history, because that's important.
Yeah.
If if they finished their studies some time ago, what have they been doing? Have they given an English test? So those are the few things that we need to know, which are part of the assessment to establish the students' plans. And if they finish their studies some time ago, what have they been doing since then? So if they're working, we'll obviously need to have the work experience details. So the key things are academics. Okay. Typically, when we look at the student, as I said, if the student has above 65% in the last qualification, then they're even eligible for our
Mhm.
scholarship, which is called international scholarship. So we look at the academics first. Okay.
Mm,
Then English test if they've given one. If not, then we advise them about the English requirements and we
mm,
recommend them to prepare and book an English test. Okay. And apart from
mm.
that, if they finish their studies in 2019 or before, we need to understand what have they been doing since then. And any
Oh,
visa is for the student and the family. So these are the key things we
okay.
discuss. If everything looks fine, and that is normally with 99% of the students, then we issue an offer letter and we ask them to write an SOP. We give them key points to be covered in the SOP and also provide us the financials information. Now, financial
Mm,
information is clearly and purely based on the Australian government guidelines. They want to
okay.
see family income, which should ideally be supported by an income tax return, or if they come from a government service department or agriculture department, then with the government service department, obviously there's a different declaration which comes from the government, and
Yeah.
from the agriculture department, there are different agricultural certificates which are issued. So income proof of the family, which is typically parents, often grandparents, maternal, paternal get involved. In some cases,
Mm,
uncle, aunt also get involved, but obviously parents are the main sponsors. So income proof and the key information which the High Commission needs for visa processing is that
mhm.
first year of total funding should be available with the student. And this total
Okay.
is in four parts. First part is tuition for first year, second living expenses, which are defined by the Australian government. A tuition fees is obviously as per the university. So then expenses, then international travel cost, which is $2,000 per year for one person. If the student is married and the spouse also going, then 2 plus 2, 4. And then finally, the overseas student health cover, OSHC, which is a must student. So student has to pay that for the full duration of their course. If it's 2-year course, they have to pay for 2 years. So these are the 4 elements for which the first year total funding needs to be provided. Now, the Australian government has also defined which banks they recognize, which are typically category A banks under RBI. So the large operators of the banks in India are all in category A. So those banks are the approved financial providers, as we call it, from which the students can take education loan or personal loan or loan against mortgage property to show funding if they don't have old and maintained savings. So first year of total expenses need to be shown as available and income proof of the family. These are the 2 sets of documents that we require. We check that and we make sure that they're meeting the requirements, and then we ask once, and then we give the approval for student to pay the fees. Once the fees is paid, then we ask the student to submit all those financial documents that they've submitted to us, along with their academic documents, English documents, to the visa department, along with, because we check the financials, we ourselves create a covering letter where we everything that we have checked for the student for financials, give that covering letter to a student or the agent that please submit this letter as a financial covering letter along with your visa application and the student rights, which we check and approve. Any additions or changes to be done, we recommend that to a student, but student will has to work on the SOP with us. So these are the steps to be followed.
Excellent. So that is more like a recommendation letter from the university because you have already checked all their financial and other details. Excellent. And another question is again on CQ University that, what are the internship opportunities for master's students who are studying at CQ University?
See, okay, let me just quickly list some of our most popular master degrees. Okay. Interestingly, before COVID, our most popular degrees were engineering, and currently our most popular degree is Master of Public Health for obvious reasons. But engineering, whether it's core engineering, civil, electrical, mechanical, or our engineering management degrees like Master of Engineering Management or Construction Management, ITIS continues to be popular with multiple streams available. Then within business, accounting, marketing, human resource, all these degrees continue to be popular. MBA global is popular as well. So all these degrees are quite popular. Currently, as I said, Master of Public Health is getting the highest interest, followed by engineering and IT. Now, all these masters are for 2 years. Now, please keep in mind 2 years is important because your degree has to be a minimum 2 years for you even to be eligible to get the post-study work visa. And we don't have a master's degree which is less than 2 years. All our degrees include one term industry placement. All. Now, let me explain this a bit more. I said to you guys, we have multiple campuses. Now, let's take the example of engineering management. Okay, Master of Engineering Management is very popular for students with already a first degree as engineering degree from the home country. Now, we have multiple campuses: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. Now, the student can choose to study any of these campuses. They can even go to a Perth campus. They can change a campus term if they wanted to. And let's say a student does a degree in Melbourne, but wants to do the internship in Sydney, Brisbane, or Perth, wherever we offer that degree. They can choose any city where we teach the degree to do internship in that city, even if they did not study in that city. So having multiple campuses, we give all these options to students, and all master's students get offered an internship as part of the degree. Now, this is what creates their experience, their contacts in the industry, which then goes on to their post-study work visa. So we offer that to every student because we feel it's a must. Students do not study purely for studying. They study to get a career outcome. And coming to Australia, not using the 2 years post-study work visa is also not a good idea. You need to make use of it. But
Yes.
you will benefit the most when you get relevant work experience, relevant
Mm.
meaning degree. And this is what
Yeah.
our internship helps you with. So it is available by the university. All you have to do is be focused that this is what I want to do, and we'll provide you the best. Very simple.
Okay. So that's cover up almost all the questions, Sumit. I personally thank you so very much. Thank you so much for taking us time late in the evening from Melbourne, from Australia, and covering up all the concerns and questions that our students had, our and our team had actually, and then giving us a proper guidance on the online learning and what are its key advantages. Why should an Indian student get hold of it and then get prioritized when the borders are opened by the Australian government. So thank you so much, Sumit. And we have given very nice information and very useful information on Central Queensland University as well. What are its USPs, the entry criteria, the GTE criteria, and other details as well. I thank you so very much. And any message to our students before you close the discussion today?
Sure. Before I give a message, I'll give you. We were just talking about internships. I'll just on that with one very interesting feedback from which I got from the head of the Master of Engineering Management. They said we have some interesting problems which happen through internship. Said last
Mm.
term, students got offered a full-time job offer during
Mhm.
internship, but we had to tell them you can't accept it. You're still on a student visa. Wait till you
Okay.
visa and you get your post-study work visa. Only
Posted
then
workers.
work full time. So
Yeah.
this is all the success stories which I can tell you more about. But the
Mm.
fact it's available. Make use of it. So
Yes.
I guess as an ending message, I'll say to everybody is the opportunities have not decreased. In fact, I would say they are higher. As the world hopefully comes out of COVID this year with vaccine
Mm.
being available, the boom which will be followed in the coming year, you guys can be part of that. You need
Yeah.
to get into your next phase of career development through your higher education now. Very simple and clear.
Yes.
Don't sit back. Nothing stops. Time doesn't stop. World will not stop. If you stop,
Mm.
you don't do that. Okay. So best of luck in what you
Yes.
do. And I'm sure Imtiaz will guide you in the best possible way. He's also been involved in this industry for almost 1.5 decades now.
Yeah. I know you since
Best of
last
luck.
17 years,
There you are.
Sumit. Thank you so much for all the guidance, Sumit, and thank you so much for talking to us and talking to our students. Will not hold you back for long. I thank you so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you and best of luck, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, students. See you in the next Expert Talk. Bye.